So a lot of investors focus on maybe a specific metropolitan market, but we're a little bit different. We actually market and buy and flip and sell across the state of Wyoming. But to do that and be in multiple towns, we depend on partnerships and working with like connected local agents who know the market, who have boots on the ground. They know the ins and outs. They know what properties you're going to sell for. They know what properties to stay away from that aren't going to sell. They help you out a ton.
I've seen you online, so I'm kind of familiar with you. Met you down at Casper at your Real Estate Investors Club, so that helped having a familiarity with you yourself. Again, it was just a matter of asking the questions. Your answers were quick and solid, which when you display confidence, it helps ease my concerns that you know what you're doing. So I'm comfortable, providing a service for you that may result in a sale, it may not. Again, I think just maintaining that long-term relationship and opportunities will always come back around. So there's nobody else in this area that I'm aware of that's doing what you're doing. So it gives us another opportunity to help the sellers and create a win-win for us as well. Every situation is going to be unique, but it's just a matter of educating the seller, making sure that they really understand it. Yeah, I think it's important to have somebody that understands what they're doing, what the options are, really getting to the root of the situation and finding out how you can create a win-win situation for them.
We're sitting here with JR. The other cool thing I wanted to share is sometimes these agents will bring us deals to where they got a house that they need to move quick or that they can't sell, and maybe it needs repairs, maybe there's some financial issues with the seller, but they got to get out of it. So a lot of different ways we collaborate. How's it work on your guys' side, JR?
It's been great, Casey. We've really enjoyed it because it gives us homes that you guys have gone in, Joe and your crew have gone in. It's new. I mean, it's new inside, so it's fresh. And I've actually have agents that are asking me, what do you got coming up next? Do you have something in the 275? You got something in the 425? I need a single level. So the word's getting around in our local market, and they're asking me what's coming up next. So that's great.
Awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, because we're able to find typical properties, and that's what's cool too, is like we'll get a lot of properties that we'll find through our marketing channels, and I'll kind of talk to these sellers and figure out what's best for them. But what's really nice is I can connect them with JR, and JR can get out there and he can give these sellers two different options, right? We can say, hey, here's your cash offer if you got to move quick and sell quick, or if you got a little more time and can list on the market, then they can work with JR. How's that been working?
That's been working good. As we were talking earlier, I didn't think people would sell their houses for cash. I mean, you said to put a sign out or put an advertising out. But I'm seeing the advantage to it because it takes the emotional part of it out for the seller. They know they've got a price and a deadline that they can move on with their life. Then your guys can come in and fix it up. So it works well not only for the seller, but it works well for the community because it's giving us fresh property at a price that we can market to help people get into it.
So there's kind of two anchors, right? So the cash offer and then listing on the market. But we've been collaborating and kind of finding the middle ground. So somebody might have a house that needs repairs or is not ready to list on the market, but they don't want to do the cash offer price because the net number doesn't work for them. So what we'll work together to do is we'll actually get our crews to come in and we'll fix up the house to where it can be marketable and they can get top dollar. So then it's kind of our team is able to, we can generate some revenue, the seller gets to sell at top dollar, and then you guys are able to get a listing and help them out and get top dollar.
I tell my clients that fishing season's over.
Yeah.
Fishing season was 21 and a little bit of 22. We've been able to work with you on the last couple of properties and hit the mark, and actually not trying to market it to where we get a bidding war, but we were actually able to get a little more than what we wanted for it. So that was good. And again, because you guys come in and you make it look really nice, Joe and you guys do a great job.
Thank you. Well, yeah, and it's an affordable price point, right? There's a lot of people who can afford that. That's one thing we always try to do is we try to stay in that zone where there's the most buyers, because like even we were talking this house we're at today, these ones can scare me a little more where you're up 700,000-800,000 because there's only so many buyers and they're very picky. But yeah, we like to zone in on that zone right there, 200,000 to 400,000. The other thing is if we can't sell it, we can keep it as a rental. So we got always two exit strategies.
Traditionally, on-market deals are for sellers that are ready to sell their house. The house is market ready, no repairs really need to be done. The house has been habitable, they've been living in it, and it's ready to be sold to the next buyer. There are off-market opportunities though, and that's kind of where Casey comes in, and he can bridge that gap and help us out with getting a house ready to go to the market. Casey and occasionally the homeowner, depending on how that connection is made, and take the property. We work through how the property can be sold on the open market, what kind of repairs might need done, and we communicate that. And then I list it on the open market and we start marketing it to the whole public for everybody to be able to purchase. Generally netting somebody a little bit of money here, netting the agents their fee, and getting everybody out of the house the way they want to get out of it with as little headache to the seller as possible.
So what we do is we help those sellers actually We make the repairs for them so they don't have to deal with it. They also don't have to interface with the agent and do all that negotiating if they don't want to. And then the last thing is we still push this out to all of the investors we work with, right? Because there's a lot of investors that don't have the time that I do or my company does to do all the marketing and find properties off market. They're looking for these fixer-uppers, right? So when you do a novation, you get all of it. You get on the market with Colton in the MLS. You get off market with us, working with whether I'm going to buy it through my company or I'm going to partner with somebody, or we're actually going to bring it to another cash buyer. So you get all those perks, and ultimately you get to sell it for kind of the happy medium, right? Again, you're not on the market, you're not cash offer too low, you're kind of bridging that gap right in the middle.
Is how do you balance the hat of like, okay, I'm an agent, I have disclosures, versus you're out there on our behalf. So I've seen this done a lot of different ways, but it seems like you've kind of got a good way to present that. How do you present it to the seller?
Yeah, so that was really difficult at first. There was a lot of trial and error trying to figure out what was going to be, the most ethical and safest way to go about it. But I mean, essentially you're just telling them, I have no bias in this situation. I've known Casey and his team for a long time. I've helped them for a really long time. I am not speaking for them. I'm not making an offer for them. And if you have any questions, especially because they're getting more offers than just you. So I always like to tell them, if you don't understand something or you have a question about something, call me. Like, I can answer that question for you and help you through it. And I'm not trying to sway you one way or the other. So just making sure that line is drawn, initially when you first meet them is really important. Because a lot of them too will be like, yeah, you work for Wild Houses, or at least they used to say that. Like, no, I don't work for them. I work for Engel and Volkers and Billings here, but I've just been associated with them for a really long time. So then I just kind of explain how it works.